Hello, snakes. My name is Dante, and today it's Podcast Tuesday once again. But since I'm in Athens right now, just waiting for the event to start. Uh, yeah, it's in a few days. This podcast will be about my Pioneer deck, Esper GreaseFang. So, Esper GreaseFang is a really cool card. No, GreaseFang is a really cool card. Main deck, usually you'd see Abzan GreaseFang in the meta, maybe Splash Red for the mud, but this time I prefer Esper GreaseFang. I just saw this, I figured I could replace the green with blue, and it was much better. So yeah, this is uh this is basically a podcast for today. First of all, we go to the combo and then the non-bo, and uh then I'll go to the main deck. So our combo, we have Omnath, Grooturf, Retreat to Coralhelm in Walking Atlas. Basically, uh, gives all your elementals. It gives all your elementals infinite power and toughness. Infinite land drops, and also if you have at least 8 lands, if you have like if you have like 7 lands and then Grooturf is your 8th, you can just draw infinite cards. So that's like a really powerful combo. Yeah. Or you can also use you can add Amulet of Vigor to the mix, and you get infinite mana. So yeah, that's basically a combo of the week. Really cool. Gives you infinite mana. Now time for a building error. Not really a non-bo, but like a deck building error that you can try avoid when sideboarding or stuff. We have Path to Exile and Spell Pierce. So, Path to Exile will give the opponent mana to pay for Spell Pierce. So try not to use both of these in the same deck. You just Path to Exile or use Spell Pierce, because Spell Pierce preys on the opponent not having enough mana to pay for the spell. Path to Exile gives the opponent mana by exiling the creature. So just don't use both in the same deck. Because some controlled decks can use those, like can end up wind up using both of these. But all right, first of all, we'll go to the main board. Back in 3 seconds. So this is the main board. Start with main board and work our way through until we'll basically go through the entire deck and analyze it. So here we have the vehicles, the main focus of the deck that we will be using with GreaseFang. We have 4 Parhelion Mark IIs and Sky Sovereign, one of them. Parhelion being, the win con, you can crew 4 and then attack for 13 in the air, and then you'll have 2 angels left over, which can finish off the opponent as they deal 8 damage, it's really cool. The main focus is to throw one of these two, preferably Parhelion Mark II, but Sky Sovereign also works, into the graveyard to then retrieve with GreaseFang for a turn, attack the opponent, and then just leave behind 2 angels that will help you, that will block, and then finish off the opponent by dealing 8 more damage. So this is a combo that will deal like that will basically deal 25 damage in the span of 2 turns. Sky Sovereign is an alternative which serves as a removal because it can kill like one or two creatures by dealing free damage as it enters and also when it attacks. So you bring, and plus it's crew free, so some other creatures can help crew, and it's 5 mana, so it's easier to cast than Parhelion Mark II when you're aiming for the end game. Well, we're going in the long game, then Sky Sovereign Mark II still works, but no, what? No, Parhelion Mark II works more expensive than Sky Sovereign. So yeah, because Sky Sovereign enters, deal 3 damage, and then crew it, attack, and deal 3 more damage, and plus it's 6 damage, so it's not that bad. That's why there's only one Sky Sovereign, but then there's 4 Parhelion Mark IIs. So this is basically the main focus. The cards we throw away to then bring back with GreaseFang. 4 copies of this card. 3 mana for free. Legendary Red Pilot. Ring of Combat on your turn. Bring back a vehicle from your graveyard to battlefield. Gains haste and bounce it at the beginning of the next end step. So, yeah, you throw away Parhelion Mark II and bring it back with GreaseFang. And then use the same GreaseFang to crew it and attack the opponent for 13. Or 6 if you're going for the Sky Sovereign. So, yeah. That's basically how this works. And, so yeah. One thing you may notice, there is no Essex Chariot. That is because this is the Esper version, not the Abzan version of the deck. So, Essex Chariot is only seen in the Esper version. And plus, from there you see much more, much different variety. I mean, it's going to be different, very different, because we're not using green. Instead, we're using blue. Now, this is how we loot. To throw away the vehicles, we have 3 Morphine's Informants and 3 Evangels of Synthesis. Evangel of Synthesis is a 2 mana 2/3 fires in Human Cleric. When enters, loot. And as long as you draw 2 or more cards this turn, gets +1/+0 and has menace. So usually it's a 2/3, but can be a 3/3 with menace, which is almost better than Morphine's Informant. A 2 mana 2/1 that whenever enters battlefield it connives. So at best, it can be at 3/2 if you throw away a vehicle or something else. But there's always a chance and wind up throwing a land away. So Morphine's Informant won't grow to a 3/2. But then if Morphine's Informant grows to 3/2, he'll always be a 3/2. On the other hand, Evangel of Synthesis, usually a 2/3, which is the inverse of the 3/2. But it can end up being a 3/3 with menace. When you cast Evangel of Synthesis, and then maybe use Morphine's Informant to attack. No, cast Morphine's Informant the next turn, and use the Evangel to attack. That's 3 damage. Or another thing you can pair the Evangel of Synthesis with are alternative win con. Raffine. Scheming Seer. 3 mana 1/4 legendary Sphinx Demon with flying and ward 1. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature connives Ets, where Ets is the number of attacking creatures. And yeah. It's just really good. It can grow your creatures and will dig you through the deck until you can throw away vehicles, get the GreaseFang, and can still do a lot of damage because the creatures will grow by throwing away non-land cards. Plus, Raffine is hard to kill because of Ward 1, so the opponent has to pay 1 extra mana to kill Raffine. So, yeah. Still, if the opponent tries to shut down, your GreaseFang, Parhelion combo, Raffine can still find you a way to win. You can go aggressive and still win the game. Now, there are some other cards that will help you discard by yourself. Not looting, but those are self-discard cards that, also don't serve much as which also aren't really card disadvantage because it will also hit the opponent, So we have Collective Brutality. 2 mana sorcery with Escalate discard card. So you can discard 2 cards and do all the modes, or discard a card, or throw a Parhelion Mark II. You do two of the modes. So one mode can be take away an instant or sorcery from your opponent's hand by because they reveal it, or target creature gets -2/-2 until turn, or drain 2 life from the opponent. So usually you end up doing the first and third modes, by discarding Parhean Mark 2, take away something from their hand, and drain them for 2. But also, you could end up discarding 3 cards, or no, 2 cards, or maybe doing different modes, killing off a creature. So, yeah, Collective Brutality is a really powerful card. Except you only have 1 in the deck. But we have 2 Liliana Veils, that also helps. 3 mana, 3 loyalty, legendary planeswalker, Liliana. +1. Each player discards a card. So you can throw away the vehicle like that. And then you end up making the opponent discard something. Or can serve as an edict, and the opponent sacrifices a creature. And the mindsets, don't just forget about it. You're not gonna do the mindsets with Liliana Veil. So yeah, that's basically the self-discard cards in the deck that can help you win because they make you discard. Now, if you wind up milling GreaseFang for whatever reason, you use like Takenuma, and opponent ends up killing GreaseFang, or you're forced to discard it or something, Sorin can bring her back. Oh wait, I forgot to put it. We have 2 of those in the deck. Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord. 4 mana, 4 loyalty, legendary planeswalker Sorin. As long as it's your turn, your creatures and planeswalkers have lifelink. +2, deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. That will also give you 1 life because of lifelink. -X reanimates a creature from your graveyard and turns into a vampire. Yeah. And the X has to be its converted mana cost. So, with Sorin, you can basically bring back GreaseFang with -3. Use GreaseFang to bring back Parhean Mark 2. Attack for 13 in the air, gain 13 life. That is basically one thing you can do. Really cool. So, yeah. That's why there's 2 of those in the deck. We also have a defensive card in the main board. 2 Stubborn Denials. 1 mana instant, counter a non-creature spell unless its control pays 1. So you can capture, the spells on the early game. So it's basically Spell Pierce, but a bit better. I mean, yeah, instead of paying 2, it's pay 1. But if you have the GreaseFang on battlefield, you have Ferocious. And if Ferocious, it actually straight up counters it. So, yeah. With Stubborn Denial, you can actually defend your GreaseFangs, or, defend your combo by, if you have 4 mana open, you can use like GreaseFang. One tries to kill GreaseFang. Stubborn Denial, counter the spell, and then just bring back the vehicle and go for the win. That is just one thing you can try and do, and it actually ends up working. That's where it's like 2 Stubborn Denials in the deck, it just defends you. The Abzan version doesn't really have that, and plus Abzan doesn't even play anything that protects your creatures, no like Veil of Summer or anything like that. But this deck, the Esper one, plays Stubborn now, so that works. And yeah, I like it. It just works well. Sometimes some matchups less than others, but still works though. We also have removals. Those removals, having 2 of those each, plus then 2 fatal pushes in the sideboard. Vanishing Verse. 2 mana instant, adds out target mono-colored permanent. In Fatal Push, 1 mana instant, destroy target creature if its MV is 2 or less. But hold on. If you lost something this turn, it can do for 4 or less instead. But still, 2 usually is enough because You use those, kill off the tokens, kill off the small creatures, and it's cool. And if needed, you can put in more from the sideboard. And Vanishing Verse serves to exile like all those mono-colored stuff, like Fable the Mirror Breaker. Also exiles all the graveyard hate that they'll put up against you because they're all mono-colored. And yeah, it's just really cool. So yeah. So 2 of each, plus then 2 fatal pushes in the sideboard. Now, we have a board wipe. So we have 1 in the main board and 2 in the sideboard. Temporary Lockdown. 3 mana enchantment. Where ETBs. Exile each non-land permanent with MV2 or less until Temporary Lockdown leaves the battlefield. So, you just use Temporary Lockdown and just exile everything. So, yeah. It's just, well, I mean, not everything, I mean, just small creatures. If they exile stuff like, if you exile stuff like Raffine's Informant, and the other one, it doesn't really matter much. In fact, if they end up removing Temporary Lockdown, those will also come back, and you get to loot again. But usually at board wipes, it can get rid of rest in pieces, It can get rid of the small creatures, it wipes out humans basically, and the token decks slash convoke decks are actually showing up or putting up, and yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, it's yeah, we have 3 of those, 1 in the main board, 2 in the sideboard, and yeah, it just works very well. Now we have a misc section. I don't know what title to put all of these, but I mean, we got Aurora Gaze, 1 mana instant, surveil free, and can flashback for 2. Brazen Borrower, being a 3 mana, 3/1, fairy rogue with flash flying, but only blocks flyers. But it has the adventure card that's 2 mana, instant, bounce, an opponent's non-land permanent. And free Fort Seizes. Fort Seize usually being used, to get rid of one of the opponent's card, and at the cost of 2 life, but just works. It's very defensive. You can get rid of any opponent's counters to your deck. Like they mulliganed aggressively for a ley line. No, yeah, sorry. Rest in peace. You can take it away, or anything that will kill off GreaseFang. And worst case scenario, throw away the vehicle like I once did for the win. No joke. I actually won because I used Fotsies to throw away my own vehicle. So, yeah. Sometimes it takes guts to, pull off the win from out of nowhere. And finally, before we move on to the lands, free card draw. We got Tainted Indulgence, 2 mana, instant. Draw 2, then discard, unless you have 5 MVs in your graveyard, 5 different mana values. And yeah, it just you don't play with the second clause happening. It's just like a better version of Charter Course, because Charter Course is sorcery speed. This is instant speed though. And sometimes when it's really needed, I mean, if you end up throwing away lots of cards in your graveyard, then eventually you will actually draw 2 cards for 2 mana. And you won't regret it. You just, if that ends up happening, you draw 2 cards and then you don't discard a card, you don't even need to discard a card. You already have the vehicle in the graveyard, if that ends up happening. Which is rare, but, it could. So, yeah. Let's just go in to the lands. Shock lands. 4 Warrior Graves, and then 3 Hallowed Fountains and 3 Godless Shrines. Shock lands, just normal, just basically enters. You have to pay 4 life, pay 2 life, or they enter tapped, and they have basic land types. Really good. So yeah, then we got fast lands. 2 concealed courtyards, and 2 sea chrome coasts. Those lands, you play them in the early game and they enter untapped. Play them later in the game, they will enter tapped. Not really that good, but I mean, not on the same level as chalk lands, but they're kind of good though. So, we got 2 of each. Flip lands, 1 of each. You got Right Climb Pathway, allows you to play it as a plains or a swamp. I mean, not plains or swamp, just white land or a black land. And Hendry Gate Pathway being able to be played as a white land or a blue land. Very different. And and yeah, it's really good. And we have slow lands, 1 of each. Shared Sanctum. So basically, this is the opposite of the fast lands. Self-explanatory. That's why they're called slow lands. 1 for blue black, 1 for white black. 1 pain land. Tap it for colors, or you tap for the 2 colors it will give you, and it deals 1 damage to you. Only 1 of 8. Only 1 of Underground River. And yeah, that's basically what we use. We have 1 trio. Rafine's Tower can be used, we intercept. It's basically the free types, plain, side, and swamp. Or we can cycle for free colors. So in the late game, we can throw this away and draw a card. Otherwise, it just serves as a multi-purpose land, and it works very well. Last but not least, Channel Land. 1 of those, Takenuma. A legendary land with tap, add black, or channel for 4 mana, throw it away, and then mill free, then bring back a creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to hand. But costs 1 less to activate for each legendary you control. At most, that's going to be like 2 legendaries, because Rafine and GreaseFang, but chances are you're using this to bring back GreaseFang and have a vehicle in your graveyard, so let's say at best it's 3 mana. So yeah, still good. And yeah, that's the channel line that we use in the deck. We'll be back for the sideboard after this break. Sideboard time! We already went for 3 cards in the sideboard because... No, 4 cards in the sideboard because of what we have in the main board that is also present in the sideboard. Let's go. 2 Planeswalker card we can use to face off against, Izzet Phoenix, mirror matches, and other stuff that use the graveyard. Or we use this against Atratza. Atratza decks, they sacrifice Leyline Binding, and yeah, it's really good because the passive ability, is that the opponent cannot search, and an activity that allows you, anyone, to mill 4 and then adds out a graveyard. So you can use this to mill yourself to get the vehicle in your graveyard, or if you already have the vehicles in your graveyard, just mill them, and then you'll lose some of the card. And yeah, it's just a really good card. And once my opponent actually conceded because I pulled up an Ashiok on them when they already pulled up a Leyline on me. So yeah, that's actually very funny. Counter spells. 6 in total. We got 2 of each. Obscure Charm. Be able to counter an instant or sorcery, or use it to bring back a multicolored permanent with MV3 or less from your graveyard to battlefield tab. That similar function to Sorin. You can actually bring back GreaseFang or Rafine, or it serves as a removal that kills MV3 or less. also can be used, against humans, things that use cheap creatures, Disdainful Stroke can be used, against like those indomitable creativity decks, that just they have like expensive creatures, and it's just really good. It's a good counter spell, and you can just counter MV4 greater. And Do Insado, 2 mana instant, can't be countered and counter non-creature spell. Can be used against control, or just spells that rely on a non-creature as their win con, So uh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Basically 6 counter spells in total, 2 of each. Let's go in to board wipe that we got. Doomscar. 5 mana sorcery to destroy all creatures. Or foretell 3 mana. So you can turn 2, foretell it, and when necessary you can just cast it for 3 mana and just kill everything on the board. It's really that good. So yeah. Yeah, you just use this, kill off the entire board, Use this against like humans or what was the other deck? Oh yeah, Convokes, stuff that put in lots of creatures, and you can use Doomscar to kill them off, all of them. No restrictions for mana cost or anything. Just Doomscar just kills everything. Also, don't forget the 2 uh, temporary lockdowns. There's also one in the main board, but yeah, it's just really good. Yeah. Now let's go in to some artifact and enchantment removals. The last 3 cards in the sideboard. 2 fractures and 1 void rend. Void rend just being able to kill anything and uncounterable. And fracture being able to kill an artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. Which you'd use this against like those decks that use was was Atratsa that just sacrifice of ley line binding. Yeah, enchantments. Also hammer time. Just decks that focus with artifacts and enchantments. You don't usually use it to kill the planeswalkers, but sometimes you might need to do that. Like kill uh Teferi. And Void Rend just kills anything. Use this when the opponent's playing big creatures like Tratsa and other stuff. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Uh like, subscribe, uh follow, share friends, stay tuned to videos, streams, and podcasts. Podcasts will be live every Tuesday at 4:30 GMT. Next one will be live, don't worry. This was because I'm in Athens, but usually they're live. Don't worry about them. The podcasts that are never live are just the Saturday ones. They're the mini podcasts. I release one also same time every Saturday. They fall under 1 minute and they're available on both Hideout and YouTube. So yeah, you should go and check them out. They're really cool. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye.